Welcome to another episode of Business Monday, where we come here to help you, to support you in your business journey. Today, we're talking about something that we all like, a retreat. How good is that, isn't it? We all want to have more time for ourselves, to regroup ourselves, to actually be the best person we can be so we can thrive in our business. Today, I'm talking to an expert in the retreat area. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell us a bit more about you.
Thanks for having me on, Martha. I love coming on your little shows. So my name is Tanya Levy. I've been involved in retreats now for, I'd say close to 25 years, actually. I'll give you a little bit of a backbone and a backstory as to how I got involved. I didn't used to be in the wellness space at all. I actually went to university and trained in business marketing and was working in a very important corporate job at Coles Myer. And it was really, really stressful. And I just found that I was getting so stressed all the time. So I started to work out ways that I could relieve some of that stress. Now, not necessarily recommending this to all people, but I started to do a whole lot of adrenaline things like jumping out of planes and, doing high rope courses and things like that, because that gave me a little bit of perspective of what stress was about. But sure enough, I got myself into the wellness world and into the wellness industry, and I started to learn how to do yoga and meditation. I thought, oh, this is a much better way to deal with stress. So then what I found was I ended up leaving my corporate job because I was finding it so stressful, and this whole other world that I was getting into with healing modalities, yoga and meditation was becoming a lot more prevalent and a lot better way for me to deal with my stress. After going to India and spending about 4 years there off and on and training more and more as a yoga practitioner, I decided when I came back that I wanted to start running yoga retreats. So I did. I started to run yoga retreats, and my market was really stressed out corporate people. It was women, it was men, it was really anybody, but anyone who was really stressed out would come on these retreats. They would do yoga, they would do meditation. The food wasn't that good, I got to say. Very basic accommodation. We had lots of challenging activities like caving and high ropes courses and surfing, and then lots of other different educational aspects to it. So they learned a lot about themselves and what stress was and how to manage with it. They were away from their wives and from their husbands and away from their jobs, and they all came home feeling absolutely amazing. So, I did that probably for about 12 years until I decided to have my own kids. And it was a little bit much because it takes, as you would know, Martha, a lot of energy to run retreats. So when I had my two boys, I decided to take a break. And then a few years back now, I think about 6 years ago, I decided I was ready to get involved in running retreats again because I really love it. It's just such a great thing to do. And I got teamed up with the amazing Vicky Friedman, who runs Me Treat Retreats. And now we have formed the dynamic duo who run women's wellness retreats. We've decided to specialize in the magic that women create being together. And so now we've been successfully doing that. We did some online ones, obviously, through COVID, and we just love what it brings to people. So, yeah, so now we've been doing that. We've just had one a couple of weekends ago. And I have to tell you, Martha, as you would know, the transformation that you see in women, because we as women really need retreats, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the transformation of when they arrive on the Thursday and when then they leave on the Sunday, it's just so amazing. They feel so much more relaxed. They feel heard. They've had a really good laugh. They've had some space. They haven't had to cook for the weekend. They haven't had to clean for the weekend. They've been surrounded by like-minded women who all really want to, increase their vibration. They've spent time in nature. They've facials and massages, all the things that us women love to do. And all in a beautiful environment. So the transformation and seeing how women just improve in such a short period of time is just the real why behind why Vicky Friedman and I do what we do.
That sounds amazing. I think that as our in our age group, we find that there's a lot of life challenges. It could be from a fallen relationship, it could be from the loneliness that we're experiencing with kids leaving home. They're getting older, they don't need us as much, or just from the overall stress of trying to keep our job. It
Mm.
is actually very, very stressful. So,
Mm.
what are the people who normally come into your retreat, and what sort of transformation can they expect?
So we've found that we seem to be getting an age group from the late 30s to the mid sort of 60s, really. But it's mostly from that 40 to 55-year-old group. And it's exactly the women you were describing. A lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them are mums. Some of them are really are mums and really busy business women, and some are just really busy business women. Some of them have got young kids, but a lot of them have already got kids that are a little bit more mature and they're sort of coming out the other side of it. All of them are exhausted. They're all just really tired from, like you said, dealing with the stresses of life, dealing with a partner, a husband, a family. Often they've got parents that need looking after as well as the young stage. So that's that sandwich in between. A lot of them don't necessarily have time for themselves at all. And we find that, a lot of women are really, they're not good at putting themselves first. They take care of everybody else first and they're last. So we tend to find that women are stressed out. They don't have enough time for themselves. A lot of them have got lots of demands from them on every aspect of life. And they've really just forgotten how to look after themselves, is what's going on. So, we're there to sort of teach them. First of all, we give them the space where they're not allowed to do anything. They're not allowed to even clear their plates from the table. Everything gets done to them. Every time they want a cup of tea or a coffee, we get it for them so they can just completely relax. So the first thing that we see is they just relax. A lot of them, they come and their faces are all, the shoulders are up around their ears and their faces are all, and they're exhausted. And so as they come over the weekend, a lot of them tend to sleep really well. There's usually one night that people don't sleep. That's sort of common, but the rest of the time they sleep really well. It's about putting themselves first. They learn some wellness activities. Some of them decide to come to yoga. Some of them decide to sleep in, which is really important. We offer some really basic meditation. And so for a lot of the women, they come and they say that's the first time they've ever done meditation. Some of them come the next few mornings and some of them we don't see again. So that's and it's no pressure. You can do what they want. Just to eat really good food is also really important. A well-balanced diet is what's really important for where we're at. They get to laugh a lot. And I think it's really important. We see a lot of women say they find their inner giggle, because life is serious out there, and there's a lot of serious things to do. But when you're around people who are just giggling all the time, and, Vicky and I really try to make it a lot of fun and a lot of fun activities. So when they leave, they're feeling well rested. They feel like they've connected with like-minded women. They've had a really good time. They've had some time to themselves. And a lot of those activities that we do teach them to how to reconnect with what's important for them. And I think, when we get so busy, we often forget what's important for ourselves. So they just feel really happy that they've had that time for themselves. And we often get husbands ringing us up or sending us messages going, oh my God, when's the next one? I'm booking my wife back in, because they come back such a better version of themselves. It's great.
That is amazing. So tell us, how long is this retreat for? Because one of the things that I find organizing events for our group here is that they find it hard to actually take time off from their work, from their life commitment, from kids and all of those. So tell me a little bit more about like how long it is actually for.
Sure, sure. So we've got two different types of retreats. We just had one actually, and the next long retreat is going to be at the end of February next year. And they usually start on the Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and they go till the Sunday at 2 o'clock. So that's 3 nights. And we used to run them for 2 nights, but everybody said they're just unraveling and then it's time to go home. Whereas here they have 2 full days and 2 half days on either side. So it's a really good period of time. And I think, for most of the women that come in the beginning, it's a big hurdle. How do I take the time? How do I take the time? But when they feel and when they notice how much better they feel when they come back, we get so many ladies who keep coming back because they just see how valuable it is. So we have a lot of repeat retreaters.
Mhm,
But what we've decided to do this year, which you've actually got coming up on the 27th of October,
mhm.
is a day retreat. And we've actually booked it in Toorak in Victoria. And so we're calling it an urban retreat. So ladies can come from, it's 8 a.m. I'm just checking here. It's 8 a.m. till 9:30. So it's just
Mhm.
one day. You can sleep at home. You don't have to worry about all the work that goes into organizing to be here.
Mhm.
But it's an opportunity to come to taste a little bit about what it is. We've got our own private chef coming, which is going to be, he's amazing and does the best food. You'll get to go for walks and indulge in wellness activities, right here in Victoria. So then you can sort of see how good you feel after just even one day.
That is so true. I'm sure that please tell us a little bit more about the course and what they are actually expecting.
Did you say the cost?
Yeah, the course of the retreat. So for the one day and also for your other ones.
So for the one day, I'm just checking what that is. To be honest, I can't remember. I'll have to put that in the post later. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
no problem at all. Because
Um,
we all just wanted to find out a little bit more about it and understanding why retreat is important. And I do see that a lot of us that we find loss, and one of the main thing that we're experiencing in our age group is loneliness. We
yeah,
find that a lot of us that find our old friend circle no longer have time for us, and it trigger a lot of insecurity as well.
yeah.
So I think a retreat like this can actually help you to expand your circle so
Mm,
you're not no longer in that loneliness
mm.
stage.
I think so. And I think also, Martha, I think as we go through different stages of our lives, our priorities change. And,
Mhm.
when you're in the kids thing, all your priorities about that. And then as the kids get a little bit more independent, then all of a sudden you've got to start finding, your connections again because the kids don't need you as much. And,
Yeah.
you've grown and changed and evolved. So, we find that a lot of women they come on their own. They don't even necessarily come with a friend. And
Yes.
they come because they want to connect. And, we're very passionate about creating a community. So we
Yes.
often throughout the year, we have nights in Glen Huntly where we have, a few hours where people come together and we have some food and something to drink. And then we do some meditation and it's like a little homecoming and a
Yes.
reunion because all the ladies, like I said, we do get a lot of people who keep coming back because they, feel it's a really essential to their well-being to keep doing that. But the community is a really big part of it. And, our slogan for the Me Treat retreats is women, wellness, friendship, and fun. And you've really hit the nail on the head, that friendship aspect, because we all feel, especially not a lot of us working from home now, not going
Mm.
into work, and you've lost that community that you even had at work. So it's really important, and none of us need to feel like we're on our own.
Yeah, that is so true because so many of us, and I think that's one of the success of our community, that we created this space for people to come and connect, to listen to expert like yourself and all our other expert as well, to let them know that there's more to life. There's a lot of the times that when we are at what we call the tunnel vision, everything become very narrow. So everything seems to be bigger problem than normal because we are looking at it as such a close way. But when we're able to zoom out and actually see things differently, and I think everything's starting to change. And I
Yeah,
think that's what I wanted to actually share with our audience here today to let them know there is another way. There
yeah,
is a different way of doing it. And yes, this retreat is something that you
mm,
can actually go on and have fun and be there with.
yeah. And I think another big one, Martha, is that a lot of the ladies, when they come, because we have these beautiful goddess opening circles, and
Mhm.
it gives the people a chance, if they can share their story. And they often feel that they're the only person going through what they're going through,
Mhm.
and they think something's wrong with them or they're doing something wrong. And then when they listen to all the other women and they hear that a lot of them have got the same challenges and a lot of them have got similar stories, and all of a sudden they think, well, hang on, it's not just me going through this. There's actually all these other women who I didn't even know in a similar sort of circumstance going through the same thing. So yeah, we've had a lot of women who then they chat at dinner time and lunchtime, they chat and they find out that, oh, they're not so different and they're not doing such a bad job, but really, and they can share strategies and everything, which has been really valuable. And I think that's really important. So one of them is to realize that, a lot of women are going through the same thing. And the other one, like you said, if we zoom out and if we can change our perspective of how we're seeing things, and sometimes we need to speak to somebody else to give us some ideas to do that, it's so helpful for women.
Oh, definitely. I've been talking to a lot of our members in private, and they just said that the one sentence that really touches my heart is that how good it is just to have someone to talk to. And I understand that. Like yesterday, I met up with one of our lady in a group, total stranger. We went and watched a movie, and I realized how much I talked. And I'm like, you know what? I was actually really missing of having someone to talk to.
Yeah, you do. And you need that. And I think, you know what, it's different. Some people have often said to us, why don't you do it for men and women? And it's different when women come together, once they relax over the first, hour or so, and everyone starts sharing and you realize everybody's got the same, and then everyone starts to be funny and you giggle. And there's a certain magic that comes when it's just, women's business together.
Yeah.
And I think
I
that's also, it makes it a beautiful, safe space for women to share and care. And like we said at the beginning, find that inner giggle, which is so important.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So, ladies, it is time to look after you, look after yourself, and put yourself first. Because guess what? At our age, our happiness should matter more than anything else in life. Because when you're happy, you become a better person. When you're happy, the people around you are happier. So, if making other people happy is one of your core needs, realize that you need to fill your own cup first. So thank you once again for Tanya for sharing with us today. I'm going to put the retreat links and all the detail into our comments below. If there's anything else that you'd like to ask Tanya, feel free to share with her, comment into the post so she will reply you later. Thank you, Tanya, for joining us today live again. And I wish you all the success into helping us women to find their why and to support their happiness.
Thank you.